Hi everyone, we're back for our series 3 in our bee video series with Pete Foster.
Hi guys.
We're going to start with where we left off about 2 weeks ago, right Pete? We were here, and what are we going to see today when we open up?
Well, so 2 weeks later, we should see any capped pupa that we saw in the last visit hatched out.
Wait, Pete, new word, new term for me. Did you say pupa?
Pupa. Okay, so there are 3 stages that we look for. We look for eggs, and 3 days after the queen lays an egg hatches, and we have larvae, and we'll see different growth stages. Typically, the larva sheds and grows kind of like a snake in a way, sheds the skin and grows. And about anywhere from day number 8 to 10, it is ready to pupate from a larval stage into an adult bee stage, at which point the worker bees will cap over the cells that contain the larva, and it takes from day 10 to day 21 for the actual pupation to occur, and at day 21 to 23 the young adult, baby adult bee will start chewing its way out of the pupal cell. Rock is to keep the lid from blowing off in our New England weather.
Definitely we've had some wind.
So what do we see? Oh, they're building comb like crazy. Look at that.
Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah, let's cut right there. Okay, so we're looking at the bees, and they're still only on 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4.5 frames. It's been very cool weather for the last 2 weeks, so hives are not building up as fast as I would like them to. You can see that they've started drawing out comb here on this frame, but they're not really active on that frame.
So are you saying if it had been warmer, these would all be...
They've done a lot of work on this side.
So not bad considering how cold
Not
it's
bad.
been?
And this frame started off as a blank. So it takes the bees approximately 10 pounds of honey to draw out 1 pound of beeswax. And that's because beeswax is a more expensive energy-wise molecule than sugar is. So I'm going to wait for these to settle. A couple of them just let me know that they were here. I don't want to...
They let you know. You were
Yeah,
here.
yeah, they gave me a flyby. I don't want to use smoke today because if you look at the grass in this field, it's like a tinderbox, and a stray spark could set off a fire.
Good to know.
So, as you're looking at this, you're going to see a lot of glistening liquid, right? So, if we weren't feeding them the sugar syrup, that would be nectar that they've collected, but because we are feeding, most likely that is sugar syrup from the feeder. See the bees with the heads in the sugar syrup?
Mm-hmm.
So they're using an enzyme to invert
It's
the
like
sugars.
watching a little puppy go in his little water dish, isn't it?
Well, they're
cool.
inverting the sugar in there, and they're going to also evaporate it down to where it's roughly 16% water, at which point it's finished, and they'll start capping it over. It's a little too early to see this yet.
Wow.
But this will essentially be sugar water honey, quote unquote, as opposed to real honey, because we've been feeding this box and this package of bees.
Now you mentioned something about...
This is just extra beeswax that I'm scraping off here, just to make handling the frames easier. if I don't stay on top of this later in the summer, it'll be very hard to get these frames apart.
Does that have any other purpose, repurposing what you're scraping off?
No, but if there's more space, they'll use that extra space to start producing drones, the male bees. And I'm not quite ready for that yet. I'm going to pick up this frame. You should see some capped cells, right?
Right.
Sort of leather colored.
Wow.
Okay, so beneath those caps are pupating juvenile bees. And when they emerge as young adult bees. And I'll show you the other side. Same thing going on here.
Wow.
So if you look, if you zoom in on one of the open cells and you see a whitish thing, so that's a larva, fairly old. I don't see any eggs right now, but it takes about 3 days for the eggs to hatch out, and by day 10, they will cap them over so that the larva can pupate. Now I see on this frame a young, recently emerged bee, which I'll point out to you. Let me just press this down. First job of the young bee is to clean up the cell that they came out of. So you see this bee right here?
Yeah. Looks pretty fuzzy.
Pretty white and fuzzy. Look at the neighbor bee, which is older.
Not so much.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's the old versus the young right there.
But actually, if you look at the cappings, you can see these are sort of leather colored, and they get darker as you go around here.
Yeah.
The darker ones are older, but now, do you see cappings that are flat and cappings that look sort of like the butt end of a pencil eraser? So that's a drone cell right there. So when that one hatches, and there's one over here too. Excuse me. Excuse me. See them? See the difference?
Yeah.
Okay, those are drone cells. So they're starting to grow some drones in this colony. And then remember we talked about pupa in the center and then a ring of pollen. Do you see a ring of pollen? Yeah, you kind of do.
Kind of see on the
here?
On the edge, that edge, yeah.
And then in the upper corners where they've finished the honey and nectar. Ouch, got me.
Even
Didn't
you
like
get
that.
Stung once in a while, don't you? Pete?
See, that's nectar. And when that's under 16% water, they then cap it off as finished honey, or in our case, sugar water. But look at the difference of the cappings between the pupa and the honey.
Wow. That's
very different.
Very different. That's pretty profound.
Now I'm going to look, and you can see that she's gone back and she started in the center, sort of in this area, and she's gone like this. And they get younger and younger as you go out here. See the larvae in these cells? Do I have an ankle right for you? As you go out from the center, the larvae are smaller and smaller, younger and younger.
One, go. Oh my gosh, I just saw her, Pete.
Where?
I just saw her. She's right over here. I saw that little...
Hold your hand still.
Oh, no, she's down there. Look, she's right there. Hi. Look at her. That is so... Aww. Look at her.
She's looking for a place to lay. So she has a couple of attendants that are following her around, like this little girl right here. Watch. See this one tickling her with her antenna? Look.
Oh, the little fuzzy. Gosh, at first it's like, it's just so overwhelming, and then little by little, you see all the distinctions and markings, and
mostly girls.
Mostly girls, of course, because what
women
did I
rock.
say before, Pete?
Women rock.
on the
Rule.
heels of Mother's Day.
Oh, look. Look here. What do you see right here?
Ooh, emergence. Emerging.
Birth.
Ah, look at that. Oh. Wow.
She's almost out. She's almost out.
The miracle of birth right here.
Do they help?
Here's
Not exactly.
another drone cell.
Got it.
See the difference? Here are a couple more. Here she comes. She's taking a deep breath. See her mouth working away?
Well, they're certainly not helping
Well,
her.
she may be feeding her right now.
Oh. Well, that's nice. There's her little mouth. I see it now. The antenna. Really? Look at her. Oh, she's gorgeous.
See
She's
how white and
gorgeous.
fuzzy
She's
she is?
so beautiful.
Next to the older, and she's
Yes.
smaller, so she'll plump up when she gets hydrated. She has spent 11 days changing from a little white grub into that. It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. Gosh, do we need
She's
some
exhausted.
miracles? The world needs to watch this
She's
right
exhausted.
here, right
Look
now.
at her. She's exhausted.
But she's tough. She's a survivor, and she's gonna get
And here comes
some
another one
nutrition.
right there. We're not going to wait for it. See?
Oh, little tiny.
And
It's like they're antennae.
hand down a little bit. Follow my finger. There's another one right there. Well, so in terms of the life cycle of a honeybee, a queen lays an egg, hatches out in day 3. From day 3 until about day 8, 9, it goes through a couple of stages of larval growth, sheds its skin. About anywhere from day 8 to 10, the worker bees cap it over so it can pupate. It takes from day 10 to about day 21 for the pupation to occur. Day 21 to day 23. Here's another one coming out.
Gosh.
Day 21 to day 23, the worker bee emerges, and then it's a young adult. The first thing it does is makes its own bed. It's a house bee. It's a house cleaning bee. As it matures, and the glands in the bee mature, it takes on the chores of feeding the queen, feeding the larva. Here it comes.
There.
Here it comes.
Wow.
Feeding the larva and wax building. So the six glands on its abdomen, underside,
But that
that
really.
secrete wax. And then as it matures into a worker bee that operates outside of the hive collecting nectar, a field bee. And in the final stage, see how white and fuzzy that bee is?
Well, also
There's another.
right behind the eyes, when they first emerge, it's really a golden color.
Yeah, that's
Golden.
that's the thorax. That looks very different on the queen bee, and that's the part that I marked with
Yep, the thorax.
the blue pin.
But almost like a shiny gold when they're
Yeah.
coming out. Just like gold dust. Like there's the thorax is sprinkled with the little gold dust.